So I don't have a drum machine like the 909, but it would be great to have one someday, hopefully. But I have some samples, sample packs and stuff like this that are labeled as 909, which I think kind of sounds like what I was thinking a 909 will sound like. So I was thinking, let's try to make some beats with some, I guess, 909 flavors from these samples. I'm going to kind of go through this, but these are mainly kind of a stock
samples
battery, like Native Instruments battery. They have like a 909 kit. Right now I have the S1. I'm not sure what I would do with this, but kind of designing sounds on the S1 is always a kind of a cool thing. So yes, I guess I can start with some claps. So I like this clap. Kind of, there is a reverb on it, but I'm not really feeling the reverb. But other than the reverb, this clap sounds pretty dope. So let's see. Just pretty straight clap for now. I guess we can add like a little ghost note here and there afterwards, but let's try to kind of stick to these notes, at least to get the groove kind of going. And let's try to add some hi-hats, I guess. Something like this. Have a little kind of obsession. I like my MIDI notes to be kind of like the same length. If it's not necessary that some notes are longer than the others, then I like them to kind of be the same exact length. So I don't know if you also have this kind of obsession, but yes. But I don't like the clap having the reverb, so I'm just going to kind of adjust the envelope a little bit. Instead of going like, I'm just going to very kind of short. All right, so let's get into the kick. I think this is kind of an okay kind of groove. I personally don't really like going into the kick too soon, because kind of adding the kick kind of, for me at least, kind of redirects the vibe a little bit. But I think this is time for the kick. I kind of like this, but it's kind of too sharp, right? This one seems to be a little bit lower. Let's try with the second one. Okay, I think that's a good start for a little groove. Let's try to find something on the S1. Perhaps a bass. Designing the bass is not the hardest, I think. Finding a good bass line is the harder part. Designing, I guess, mostly triangle. Okay. Little bit of attack though. I'm kind of like maybe 9, 10. The K. Short sustain. Short no release. Little bit of sub. What else? Filters. Let's get on to the filter. I think that should be okay. And then little envelope. And that's a bass. Let's increase the envelope a little bit though. Maybe some resonance. But the thing about resonance, I think from my ears, adding more resonance tends to kind of conflict with the low end of the bass. Alright, now comes to the harder part. Figure out a bass line. Now, if I do like a more static bass line, like it kind of sounds very static, and the sound is kind of going like very straightforward. It's kind of something that you can maybe like ride on for a long time. But I'm not sure that's what I would like to make. And also, we don't really know where this thing is going. As far as this was just to test the 909 thing, but I think we can base the whole thing on this and then try to kind of add some variation from there. So okay, so some long strings perhaps, like dee. Let me add some EQ on the tom, because the tom could fight the bass. I feel like I need some sort of shaker or something that kind of go very fast. Of course, the open hats is something that we will need, but the shaker, I think I will have to go elsewhere for the shaker. So I'm trying to kind of figure out if I should add a little bit more notes to the bass, because the bass right now feels a little bit still. We'll figure this out later, I guess. Enough. Let's get the kind of open hat. Yes. Yeah, this is the one. Pretty simple, I think. Again, same length. I don't know why, but I like having the same kind of length for everything. Not like that, it sounds good, but something I like to do is like to have every note, but then when I have every note on the MIDI track, that's not really cool. So I like to kind of just copy everything and then adjust the velocity. So something like this. Because now it has, let's say, like a little ghost note flow, instead of having everything like, you know. So let's do this and just lowering the velocity of the first note. And even kind of crazier, let's say, because right now, let's make this shorter, and then I can then copy everything over again and then readjust the velocity. So then there is a lot more dynamic into the hit. I still get this, which is kind of the note that we're looking for, but in between I have like lower notes, higher notes, and stuff like this. Of course, you can adjust this manually, but for me, I just like to copy, paste, adjust, copy, paste, adjust. So one bar, something like this. But the cool thing is, I like to process my open hat, kind of like adding some effects on it, because right now, that doesn't really sound too nice. So first I like to add the duck to kind of make the first hit kind of duck. So, you know, you see it kind of does like and then the kind of notes that are a little bit louder than the average, but not louder than the loudest, kind of ducks. And the good thing about I guess, you know, when on, I guess, a real drum machine like a 909, you can adjust the envelope. And this is just a sample, so I can't really adjust it unless I go into the VST and then adjust things. But I like this kind of longer note. I can adjust the release and stuff like this, but I just leave it at this for now. Alright, so I added a little EQ on the on the hi-hat, the open hat. I guess this kind of gives, I guess, kind of a lo-fi feel, or at least when I'm picturing lo-fi, I think this kind of type of EQ. So I'm kind of increasing the high end around, what is this, 10K? So it gives that. Instead, it would have sounded like this. So yes. Alright, so let's try to find some melodic thing, because we're definitely missing on some melodies. Or let's try to find a sample. I think the sample will be the best thing. Alright, so I have this sample that I pitch at +3, around that, to kind of, let's see if it meets with the bass.
Take my name.
Let's wait. So let's try this. I'm thinking what kind of progression I could have. Okay, I think I see. Dude, that's kind of a cool progression. Let's establish the driving thing for the side chain, which is the kick, and then side chain on this sample. Okay. Okay, we got everything here. The bass, we'll figure the bass out a little bit later. Let me just try to kind of play, add some stuff on top of everything, so it kind of sounds good to me at least. So the first thing is an EQ on the kick. The snare, I like to kind of remove some of the highs, potential lows from the snare, because there is some low somewhere. Now, let's try to arrange this so we can add the bass somewhere. Or even do kind of different notes, because these notes, I think these notes are not, the bass notes are not working with the sample. Alright, so a few adjustments. I think there are a few things that didn't really sound too well. The first thing I adjusted was the sample itself. So I kind of added -4 semitone. I think this one sounds a little bit better than it was at like +3, I think. I added some filter, a little bit of distortion on the sample. So this kind of, when the voice comes in, there is a little bit of a distortion on the vocal. See, there is that little distortion on the voice. A different bass note as well, kind of a little bit simpler, I think. That's kind of very house bass. I like this. But other than this, there isn't much that I kind of adjusted. So yes, I'm sending it to my compressor, doing a little bit of processing, effects and stuff like this. But yes, thank you for watching, and then I'll catch you on the next one. So it goes like this, I guess.